You.
Man, not bad at all, my bird, you know, you do.
Well, I am there now. Watch all that is happening in the world, you know.
Yes, I know that. I can depend on you. I can depend on you people. Anyway, it's not every time somebody says something you can agree with them, because some of us would not relevant if everything that one say you say the same. But listen to me. I think the chances of you going to prison in America if you're black and famous is greater than the white man.
I believe statistically that has been proven out in terms of the incarceration rates, so I can't disagree with you on that.
Yes, and the chances of going to prison in Jamaica is less than the poor man. If you have money, you can do a lot of things.
Oh, that's also a universal constant, Papa Nana. Money can solve a lot of problems that the impoverished simply cannot get out of.
Especially when you have a good lawyer.
Oh my God!
Which costs?
You know, Sanjay, you're young, but yes. I think you're coming on very, very well. I can tell you. You know that one time the government said the lawyers should report any activities that they believe that is not right with their client.
Yes.
Oh, I recall that.
Yes.
It was a big deal.
It went all the way to the Privy Council, if I recall.
And I won't call no name, but listen. The lawyer, I call him the Lord of the Ring, because you know they are so powerful in this country and legalistic that you have to be careful how you talk. And he said, "Oh no, we're going to fight it tooth and nail, because our life would be in danger." And 2 weeks after that, Papa Nana, lived to hear that lawyer say, I tell people that if they know anything, they must report it. No, you is one of the men who fight it down and say, yo, the lawyer's life would be in danger. How could you do that? And him asking you now as the local sufferer to say anything happen, you must report it. Right? Well, I tell you, this country, hear me, I tell you. And you know the other thing that I am saying, we can't end without we talk a little politics. Mm-hmm. You know that most of the PNP is two different people. One is PNP and one is Comrade. But you know, most of what the Comrade said, you know, I don't know how much you two people is a Bible man, but you know that the people in this country should call them Eli. You ever heard about Eli? I think most of the Comrade in this country, they should call them Eli. Because let me tell you something. 99.5% of what them say is lie. Because, say for instance, look at a person like Miss
But hold on, but Papa Nana, how you come with that statistics? Eh?
How?
You pick that one out of a hat?
Then let me ask you something now.
Papa Nana, just be clear, because I know you're about to call someone or somebody's name. Be very careful when we talk about people's reputations and comments being made. Be very careful if you're going to single out an individual.
Yes, I know, but what Miss... But
again, Papa Nana?
In this station in any problem, I say what Miss Motley said about the Parliament, it was the truth.
Whom?
Miss Motley, it was the truth what you said about they refused to, they shut it down Parliament because they did that want to...
Okay, yes, that is correct. That the report was tabled in that Senate sitting. There was no intent. And Philip Powell also came out and suggested that no, there was no discussion to end the parliamentary sitting or send the Parliament on recess.
Yes, and that's what
I have to agree with you, Papa. I try to believe in the best of people, and I wonder at what point were wires so crossed that Lambert Brown was comfortable enough to get up in the Parliament and say that, yes, I heard from the opposition leader of government, the opposition leader of government business in the House, that yes, we are going to be proroguing the Parliament. He said it with such confidence that I said, only for that to be contradicted by the said leader of opposition business.
Listen to me. I'm going to say something and I'm going to be very careful again. When I was going to school, my teacher teach me a little, I think his memory gem or something like that. He said, let dogs delight to bark and bite because God has made them so. Let bears and lions growl and fight, for this is nature too. But little children were never made to tear each other's eyes. You see, when you have a those type of mentality, you will bark and bite. You know, take care of yourself.
All right, Papa Donna.
You can't expect anything better from them. Goodbye.
Carl, welcome. How you doing?
Evening, Sanjay.
How you do, Carl?
There, man. Sanjay, I want to ask you a question. Sanjay, who did give the JPS the last license?
That's under the PNP, and I think Philip Powell at the time was energy minister.
Correct. Mistake you after you're correct. Yesterday evening and nationwide, and also last night, George Davis did have one, the minister first and then Philip Powell.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Philip Powell, I hope my ears is hearing good, that this new person that the government and a new license that the government is going to issue, the government must see that the license benefit the people of the country. I'm not a bright guy, so I have to come to you like Sanjay, if he asks you. So what Philip Powell, if I understand what Philip Powell is telling me, that the license that Indy give to them that time wasn't to benefit the people of Jamaica?
When I've heard, and I didn't hear the interview yesterday, but generally I've heard Philip Powell discussing the matter of the license and the way in which Mr. Powell has spoken about it. I was taken aback, to be very honest, because he was the very person who negotiated the license. And I think context in this matter is very important. So nothing is wrong to say at the time that was the best deal. However, but the context must be made very clear so individuals understand that he was part of it. But it seems as if there's a separation of self, that he was not part of that negotiation then, and this is what he wants now.
It's not his government, and I know him did give the license. So how him a reason now? Him, and for him government, him never have nothing to do with the license. I want to say to Jamaica people tonight. When Philip Powell is a liar, and when Philip Powell could have give a company a license that if you have a natural disaster and it blow down the light post them, it must be paid back by the person them who have a bill with JPS. That's a mad license. And when you come and speak evil, Powell is going to put up himself one side. He must go one side. And I heard him other day also, I tell Mr. Val, say, when they negotiate, they must invite the opposition. Invite if it do what?
No, what about
the opposition to the government?
Yeah, but in the context of good governance, Carl, the opposition needs to be brought at the table at times, which is why, for example, when the government is recommending someone for certain positions, they have to consult the leader of the opposition.
But consult the leader of the opposition if we didn't have a leader of an opposition in Jamaica, a Jamaica opposition leader. Me personal know, doesn't see nothing to consult a person who don't have a H paper in my country. I don't have no reason to consult you. I don't know you. And that's my take on that. The Prime Minister doesn't have to consult no leader, no opposition, because we don't know him. He doesn't have a passport for my country. He doesn't have he doesn't have an H paper for my country. So you are not a person who the government should consult. Anyhow,
all right,
I'll leave that there for tonight. Hold on, liquor. Hold on. I listened both news last night, both TVJ and CVN. I make certain that when me get home, me kind of keep up with all of what happened during the day. Monday evening, it was a big discussion on all Monday night concerning Mr. Warmington. And get me correct, Mr. Warmington did something that was out of how my party moved. Mr. Warmington came and apologize. Dayton Campbell called upon everything that he could call upon. The human rights them was fully on board Monday. Fully on board. Sanjay, I don't know if you are a rich man or you're up in the top of the hill.
Oh, Jesus.
So you don't know a big yard. You don't know a big yard. There are a whole heap of people living in.
No, man, we know definitely we know the context of big yard. Yeah,
right. And sometimes water go away and you have all the outside bathroom. And sometimes as you wash the outside bathroom, somebody stand up. One of the person stand up and wait for you first. And as you don't wash, you have to go back and take up your clothes to go in him first when you go here. The lady from St. Elizabeth, down at Slide Green constituency, the PNP is in a condition today like a loose cannon. I remember when Mia come up, I hear say the most brightest people them and the intelligent people them join the PNP. You listen to one from Hanover 2 Sundays ago, and when you listen to this one, you say she a teacher from St. Elizabeth, it's like a loose cannon. Get away. And if did have a child going to that school with that lady teaching, come September morning, she couldn't teach my child. That's a loose cannon. Have a blessed night.
All right. All the best.
Mr. C, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I wonder when they're fixing the road at Art, my car, I spend nearly $100,000 already.
Which road?
Yes, the road by Hart in Windward Road area.
Oh, okay.
It is there nearly 6 months. Right? The road in Harborview, I must have 100 patrol and they're fixing none of it. What is happening? Why? Not one patrol is fixing. It has more than 100 patrols.
Have you been able to speak with the MP for the area?
The MP?
That's who.
I don't know the MP.
What road you say, right?
Paul, must be the MP.
I know the border is somewhere down that side, so it could be Paulwell or it could be
Drive and Arbor Drive.
Let me check.
So that is the main street. We're not talking about the inside street. I have more than 100 patrols.
Right, but you want to part of the process too is to make representation and to speak to your MP to make representation on your behalf or the councillor on your behalf to the respective agencies.
How are we going to find those people?
What do you mean, how are you going to find them? They have a constituency office that you can go to. They have email addresses that you can send emails.
That is the main reason. My family and I'm away to them can't bother the vote business because if one party in the same thing, next party in the same thing.
But you see, part of the challenge though is that we complain as Jamaicans that something is not being done. But the question that I ask is, what steps have you taken to find out what's happening with the road, to speak to your MP, to speak to your, or speak to NAA? When you spoke to them, what did they say?
They say they don't know when yet. That's what I put. One person tells me I don't know when. When is when? A year time. And you can't, every day you can't break it up and you have to spend the money and pay more tax and more tax and more tax. This is absolute madness.
We need to find out who is the MP for the area, though.
And I have seen road, just a minute, I have seen road that don't necessarily need to fix because there's all in the car drive on it. Road that is into that area, that there should be no houses. Be sure. There should be no houses there. I don't know why they put people to live in that area. Because that area was abandoned for housing. That place was cut up for houses, and when it tested, they say there should be no houses built. I don't know why people live there, and they're getting light and water and all that nonsense. And when we paying our bills, over taxes, and those are squatter land, they're fixing the road over there. What is the problem? How come you can't run like this? Huh? They spend around $1,000 fixing the car. And because I'm breaking the back again. And you call every day about to fix the road. Nobody fixing it.
Well, you're correct. Based on my checks, Philip Paulwell is in fact the MP that covers that area.
Yeah, from Fort Newton Drive, Harbour Drive, all that Harbour View area.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And nobody are fixing it.
Well, they happen to listen, even though sometimes they don't say it. So we're making that call now to MP MP Paulwell. You've heard the call from one of your constituents. The road is in a bad condition.
Yeah, the road here in Harbour Drive, Fort Newton Drive. They're nothing. And look what is happening. Nearly 1,000 trucks pulling out sand from right behind the football field every single day. More than 1,000 trucks. I don't know what they're going to do, sir.
The problem that we have now is that you're going to hear the argument about parochial road and central government and all of that.
And when I called the mining ministry, they said they don't give them nobody the authority to take up the stand. They would steep in the stand. Over 1,000 truckers and take out there. What is that?
Some illegal activities happening over there also.
The stand supposed to belong to the people of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I ask, they say, the government is going to take 3.5%. If I'm supposed to sell $1 million of sand, they don't get $35,000. What kind of thing is this? What kind of country is this?
Mm-hmm. All right, sir. Thank you for the call. Ulrich, good evening.
What up, guys? Even Sunday, even while I'm on.
Hi, Ulrich. Good evening. We're well. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I heard you guys discussing about the case in New York today.
Yes.
Yes.
Historically, black celebrities are always being brought back to the reality that the color biasness is always there. But Siobhan, we're a part company with you a little bit is that from some of the tapes that we had seen of how this guy treated this lady in that hotel, and from what some of the witnesses said, we can't justify that by saying that he's black. And that was why, what happened. Those were things that we saw. And the major charge he got away from.
Sorry, when you say you part company with me, because I never suggested that was because he was black or anything to that. I don't understand what you mean.
Let me apologize for that. What did you say?
No, I'm saying that I don't know if I can support the view that these women just had it coming, so to speak, or they found themselves in that position based solely on their own actions. That is what I said I don't support. I believe that these women could have found themselves in a precarious position, and as a result of pressure and the need to conform to a certain view imposed on them, that they themselves became victims under those circumstances. Not that they deserved it or that they put themselves in that position and therefore they should reap what they sowed. I don't support that position.
I misinterpret what you said, but let me say this now. Don't you believe that after a while they should have realized that what was happening, and because of money they didn't walk away?
I'm certain that you could say money played a role, but I can't say I know it personally, but I know and I've heard a lot of victims who find themselves in that position where you said, then why don't you just walk away? And they give you all sorts of reasons and explanations because they feel trapped sometimes and they feel like they're unable to move away from the position that is harming them. So I don't want to come down universally and say that all these women deserved it and that they put themselves in that position and they deserve the outcome of what happened to them. I just cannot subscribe to that view.
I understand what you're saying, but sometimes I just think that the money, the fame, the big parties, the lavish lifestyle, I am sure that he had approached a lot more women than those, and some of them have walked away. I'm a bit sorry because it is happening to somebody with
the reality though. It's a reality, though, Alric, that in many abusive or toxic relationships, especially with wealthy or famous men, the lifestyle offers, the financial security, the status, the visibility, it is hard to give up. And victims may fear starting over with nothing, losing their career connection, being black labeled in the industry. That is something that is hard to deal with, So it doesn't mean that the abuse didn't happen, but for them, it's a means to survive and continue with their daily life and turning a blind eye to that.
I understand, guys, but sometimes it hurts to know that the people of our color, who has this money influence, really behave in such a way that we're always stigmatized. It hurts. But
well, let me ask Arkin, do you not find at least what we know and has been confirmed as things that have happened, do you not find his behavior somewhat distasteful?
it's very much distasteful. Honestly, I see that. And you know what hurts? The color thing, when the guys up there like color do these things, you hardly see them coming to the fore, and you know that they do it too, and it just sets a stain on our color, man. It makes me feel so bad. So I don't know, but let's see what the sentence will be like, and I know these ladies will be able to recover from the experience.
All right, thank you, Alric, for the call. William, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Lewis.
Good evening,
sir.
William. How are you?
Not bad. Yeah, I'm calling pertaining to a road in Eastern St. Thomas. I'm called Rollinsfield Road. You ever brought that road?
I'm
Rollinsfield?
not familiar with that.
Rollinsfield.
Oh, Rollinsfield. No, I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, man, this is one of the last districts to go to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
We have two
No.
breakers on that road. One of them is over 5 years now, one of them is since burial. Compared to the mash up of the road. I speak to Mr. Sharad about it with other people, and I speak to the member of parliament. I don't remember her first name, but Miss Charles. And up till now, I am wondering if this will get wait until somebody plunge over one of these breakaways before they do something to it. Because
When you spoke to the MP, what was her response?
Well, I think she said they were looking into it. Same to Mr. Shah said. He know about it and they were looking into it. But it's over 5 years now, I think, and nothing.
5 years.
This road, this corner, they call it Sullivan Corner, is a very dangerous breakaway. If you don't know the road when you're going up, they can go right over. And matter of fact, no big unit cannot pass there. Because people up in here that we're do building right now, it used to cost them about 80 to 90,000 for a truckload of material to go up there. Now it costs them 120,000, and it's only some part of the district that truck can go still.
Yeah, I'm actually looking online and I'm seeing some footage about a month ago that's posted, and it's really in a bad condition.
Right. Right. Because I'm telling you, especially in the night, if you're going up there, don't know, you're kind of serious trouble.
Yes. It would like MP Charles, that's Dr. Michelle Charles. It would be good to know, since you're aware of it, what representation have you made, and have you been receiving any promises that the road is on the list of things to be repaired?
Several times. Right? Mr. Shah told us straight up him know about it also. And this is not the first or the second time I call about it. I had a people. I don't really live up there with a lot of family. Up to Sunday, I was up there to a funeral. And it's very, very, very dangerous.
You see, part of the challenge, listen, that we have, and when I listen to the Prime Minister speak about the Spark program, for a very long time, we have not been doing any proper development work on some of those roads. We focus a lot on the major highways, but the community roads we haven't been. And it's going to take a long time for us to bring it to the standard that we can say it will last for a particular period of time. So we normally do the patchwork, and we don't come with the necessary drainage that should be put in place and banking and curb wall, and the process is not done properly.
Because
Yeah, but it's going to take a long time. Yeah.
you gentlemen, you people are very young, but I grew up in that district.
Yes.
Oh, that road used to maintain even back in the 50s, 60s. Nothing like that. That happens when the rainfall water take the water till it just dig it away. First thing is to have the challenge with the culvert. We take the water off the road. Now the water take the road and dig away the whole thing.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We are now also building in river channels. So where you would have areas where the water can run off, people now build houses, put up retaining wall. The water don't have anywhere to run, and we have a greater problem.
They start dig, find somewhere to dig away.
Mm-hmm.
But something need to be done to that as soon as can get to Mr.
Yes.
Ms. Charles.
MP Charles, Michelle Charles.
Or the rock agency commander.
Oh, Stephen Shaw. Yes.
Right. Because he told us that he know about it already very long time. Up to now, nothing will be done. We don't want somebody to go over there, then some excuse make. Because that's all the while.
Right. Well, we're making the appeal for you, and if there's anyone listening that is close to the MP, could probably get a word to her, because she would be making the representation. So at least we can hear where they're at. Or Mr. Shaw from the NAA could also give us an update on that.
All right, good evening.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Good evening, Cleveland. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
How are you doing?
Miguel, give thanks and praise and listen all of what I say and do. There's something on the phone here. I think the news is from your station. The Integrity Commission has revealed via a document tabled in Parliament that it has closed a probe it had launched into Prime Minister Andrew Holness' statutory declaration. What that mean?
I'm not aware of that, Cleveland. I wish I could answer that question for you. Sorry.
Yeah, but but here says nationwide it come from.
As I said, not aware of it. Can't answer that question.
Okay. I just I see that I take an interest in it. The pensioner that didn't get the pay. I noticed that other places trying to make a mountain out of it. Mark you, I'm one of them that get my thing from the accountant general too. And I would feel away if I go to the bank and see that I didn't get my money. It's something happening for years now. It's not anything new. Right? There's sometimes some hiccup coming in the whole system. And that is why it's very important when you get your
life certificate?
Yes, you gotta get it in time. You see? But
as I understand it, the AGD came out to say it was a technical error on their part.
It happened that time.
And to be fair, Cleveland, I wouldn't want any pensioner to have to go without. I could not imagine how I would survive if I missed a month of my salary. So I can only imagine when a pensioner has to wait for an additional month to get that little bit of money in their pocket. So I appreciate that they did their best to get it sorted out as quickly as possible. And as I understand, that matter should be solved by the end of this week. So I appreciate how quickly this matter has been resolved.
But, I noticed that some people trying to get the politics in it as if the government don't have the money to pay. And they're just carrying it in that one line. The people
I can't imagine why somebody would try to spin it that way.
Yes, man.
Because from time to time, people slip through the cracks. It's unfortunate, but it does happen.
Yes. Anyhow, Mr. Warmington, well, I'm going to tell you. But I say, him put in our mouth. And he must be very careful. But then just that one, maybe say, somebody Jamaican word, bad word. But this other lady bringing war to Mr. Clyde Green.
Yeah, I heard.
She's supposed to be a teacher.
What I'm trying to understand is, let's take Mr. Warmington out of the equation because he's stuck in his ways.
Yes.
I don't know where else to take that conversation with Mr. Warmington. But do we not have sensitization sessions when we're putting forward candidates for high office to say this is how you should comport yourself. These are the things you shouldn't
my
say
gosh.
while you're on the campaign trail. This is the message we'd like you to put forward. These are the topics we'd like you to avoid. Isn't there that level of proper care and guidance being provided by the secretariat of either political party? Let me just put it that way.
But I noticed
Because it
that
seems
none of
necessary
the
for
civil
these
society
people.
groups, none of the civil society groups say anything about how this lady go on as a teacher. But everybody take up Mr. Warmington and talk. And them ignore the other lady because I think she come from some place I don't even want to describe because not every big yard stay like that. But gosh, man, I'm supposed to be a teacher and going on like that and declaring war.
It is distasteful, Cleveland. I definitely agree with that. And I feel it was such an unnecessary comment. I don't know how she moved from concerns about water to declaring war on the sitting MP. It just seems so.
Man could have wondered with she. God no.
I'm not going there with you, Cleveland.
Oh,
but
man.
I just say it feels we need to sit down these candidates sometimes and give them proper lessons in terms of comportment. Aren't they vetted to understand that you need to carry yourself a certain way? You're representing your party. You're representing what we would like to be considered the best of Jamaicans. You should behave yourself in an appropriate manner.
I saw someone showed me a snippet of the video, which is circulating on social media.
Her face alone.
And and one of the comments I saw is that someone says it's a spiritual war.
Yeah.
My thing is, it didn't.
Spiritual war?
Oh,
yes, that's one of the comments. But even if she was speaking spiritually,
really,
there was no. No. I'm saying even. Hold on. Listen to me. Even if she's speaking spiritually, there wasn't any context because at no point, and maybe I need to see the thing in its entirety, but at no point I hear she spoke anything about a spiritual war. That's one.
No.
And even the look on her face that I saw on this video, I'm like, mighty God. Yeah?
Yes.
As I said, it just came unbidden because she was speaking about concerns about water.
Man.
And I was just where did she make the transition from that?
Yeah. I'm not speaking the truth that there's no water and farm and don't have this and that. But she not tell the truth. I don't live there, but I have plenty of friends there. You see? And I'm one of the people who sit there and listening to her. Why one of them would not get up until I say, no go so. They sit down and clapping her when they well know so no go so. And I noticed the PNP having some of these ladies now. I wonder what happening. Some of these ladies are going on like they're fighters.
Huh?
Gosh.
All right, Cleveland. Thank you for the call. Bobby, evening.
Yes, good evening, Siobhan.
Hi, Bobby.
Good evening, Sandra. Yeah, man. Yes, you see, I just want to say something. You see, I don't expect nothing different from the PNP because the PNP has been behaving like this when any time they are in opposition. When they are in opposition, they try and bring some form of war to the JLP. So when I hear this lady down in Floyd Green constituency behaving that type of, it doesn't surprise me. But one thing though, she's not speaking the truth. She lie, and I can't.
Just leave that she did not say something truthful. There's a very just thin line you have to walk when you say things like that.
But Siobhan, even looking on, and I was just playing the video again. Those that were on the platform, for the most part, they seemed very uncomfortable with the posture of this lady. Huh? I don't know if you probably need to look back at the video.
No, I saw the video that Sajid said.
No, I saw it.
No, man, but I'm saying that I'm taking the time now to look at those around her, and the cameraman was able to zoom out, and we were able to see most of those who were on the platform, and they did not seem amused at all.
Yeah, man, I saw it. I saw them. But the reason why I said that she's not speaking the truth, I work along with Floyd Green right across the length and breadth of Jamaica.
All right.
And since Floyd Green, you see, get minister all small, medium, and swan farmers get a lot of resources out of the agriculture ministry that Floyd Green put up for them. Even the other day, down at Isratech, when we have a symposium there, and Floyd Green, he was all the way over in Portland meeting with the Fisher folks, and he was way behind time, and we were saying, boy, no, apparently he's not going to really get the time to come to Shooter's Hill. And he still make the time, although he was a bit late. And you know the reason why he rushed and come all the way to Shooter's Hill, because he had some irrigation kit for small farmers, and he come there to find out if all the kits are ready for the small farmers. And the small farmers cannot complain. So when this lady is talking about the farmers are not getting no resources and no this and that, she is absolutely not speaking the truth. She must go and do our research before she talks. Right?
And one of the things, I don't know if you were listening to last week when Ricardo and we hosted the show, and Ricardo indicated that the JLP is overconfident of victory, and the JLP is not adequately addressing the misinformation that is circulating across social media and at some of these rallies held by the opposition. It is important that the JLP, you are addressing these things.
No, we don't have to do that, Sandra, because look here, the people see and know.
No, you cannot, and that's a problem.
Bobby.
That's a problem, Bobby.
Some of the things I see floating around there on social media, and in just the general public, I wonder how misinformed the public can get at times, because it's just a matter of people simply saying something untruthful, and it just gets stuck in somebody's head, and it takes a lot to displace that misinformation from their psyche.
Yes,
it takes a lot to do it.
No. Shevon and Sandre, look here. There is a Jamaican common parlance that say this: "Tom drunk, but Tom no fool." The Jamaican people, they are no idiot. And
if you say, I take a good example. I believe last week when they were discussing the Pradial Larceny Act in the Senate, and Lambert Brown said some I think if he had said it anywhere else, he would be facing a defamation lawsuit for it. And so even when the senators got up and resoundingly challenged everything he said and pointed out that it was untruth, I still hear people to this day repeating much of that misinformation, that the Rada people stole fertilizer from the farmers, things like that. And these are things that have been proven to be quantifiably untrue.
Yes.
And especially when you go in some of those rural communities and you hear individuals speaking like this, you can't necessarily think that, oh, everything is well. So you might hear it on social media. Some of those don't have access to social media. They may hear it as news in traditional media. But it's important that the JLP play their part now in correcting the information. It's important.
The people who are saying these things are people who are closely aligned with the People's National Party. And one last thing I would like to say, I saw something on Instagram today where the church is concerned about the appointment of Dennis Chung. I am a churchman, and I just want to say to the church, look here, don't push your nose in something what don't concern you. My grandmother always tell me, say, if you see 2 bundle of wood over there, so and your name don't write on it, don't go and lose it. Church, the appointment of Dennis Chung is none of your business. The man was duly appointed by the Services Commission. He wasn't politically appointed, right? So when the PNP, they're making a big hoorah out of this, making politics.
But I mean, now that we have the truth of that matter even more so, I find some of the comments that have been made over the last few weeks regarding Dennis Chung's appointment even more distasteful. Because now we find that he was not the first choice. The gentleman had the work in hand and decided that he didn't want it. And then they had to carry another round of interviews. And as a result, they made some adjustments. So it's unfortunate that after all the brouhaha about the situation, we now have more information on the matter, and even seems less likely to be considered that some form of corruption or any other form of malfeasance took place on this topic. So it is what it is, Bobby, but I'm told it's time to wrap up by my producer. So thank you all on YouTube and in Radio Land for joining us this evening. Thanks to our super producer Dana Davey, our technical operator Andrew the Glenn Boogs Anderson, all my friends and compatriot in the news and production department led by the very, very capable Cara Powell. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis, wishing for you a wonderful evening.
Taboo topics. Boy things after dark.
Riveting discussion.
Celebrity news.